Well, let's just go down the rabbit hole, I would say. Down the rabbit hole. Dr. K.
Push. Welcome to another Healthy
Take
Gamer
the wheel.
TV stream. My name is Dr. Alok Kanoja. Just a reminder that although I am a medical doctor, nothing I discuss on stream today is intended to be taken as medical advice. Everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If y'all have a medical concern or question, please go see a licensed professional. So today we're going to be talking with Thor, Pirate Software. And I understand, I don't know the details, chat, but I understand that there has been some drama. I saw that there was drama. I don't know.
There's always drama. There's always drama. And I'm waiting for the moment I'm in the drama. It's gonna be fun.
Exactly what's going on, but I think we're going to be talking some about that. I mean, I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about whatever Thor wants to talk about and whatever I feel like talking about. But I think that there's been some stuff that's been going on. And it kind of feels like one of these like elephant in the room situations where if we just like pretend nothing happened, it feels like super awkward. But I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't really follow like streamer drama very much. But yeah, whatever happens. So we're gonna see. We're gonna just talk. So I really enjoy talking to Thor. We've talked to him a couple of times before. It's usually been a great conversation that people have enjoyed. I understand that a lot of people are unhappy with him, more unhappy. So we're gonna just figure out what's up with that.
So, by the way, Dr. K, I've watched his stuff for years now. I don't know, 3 years? Maybe. And yeah, I always thought his content is great. He made me think about a lot of stuff, which helped me improve myself, which is one reason why I am here now. So, thanks, Dr. K.
Always, we are, we try to be like compassionate and understanding. That doesn't necessarily mean we're non-judgmental, right? So that's
why is this a discussion? Of course you can tell someone, the hard truth without being a dick. You don't have to be, oh, you poor thing. The truth is better than, treating someone like a little bitch.
It's not one of our key values, but our values are to be authentic and compassionate and recognize that, like, people sometimes struggle, sometimes make mistakes, sometimes have stuff going on. So we try to be as like understanding of that as we can. And I'd ask y'all to be like as understanding as you can. Before we hop in with Thor, and we just do that for everybody, right? It's not like
okay, let's skip that and we go to the Thor thing.
Let me turn.
Where did this go?
Okay.
Virtual camera. Whoop.
Virtual camera. Give me a second. There we go. Oh. Hold on.
Oh, for some reason, this is showing the big U, and I don't know why. Huh. Very nice. Now I have to fix this.
I think I got mine. Did we do it? Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, sweet.
I'm trying to fix it on my end.
Okay, well, it's working for me, so that's all that matters in life.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Isn't that what you've learned from being on the internet recently?
Yeah, definitely. That's how it works.
Is that if it works for someone, that's all that matters?
It's all that matters. Yep.
Is it though?
Yeah, so how you been, Thor?
It's been rough.
Yeah, I hear that. So I don't really follow much of, internet drama. So are you want to talk about what's been going on, or you want to like not talk? Oh, which is like totally fine.
I don't even know where to start with it.
What's going on?
I think recently I've actually been dealing with the Ferret rescue. So I guess we could start with that because it's more recent stuff. We had, and this kind of ties back into it too. So we had 2 deaths.
Damn, his mic is so low.
In the rescue this last week, which is rough, and like I'm finding, because we're at about 60 ferrets now, we hover around 60, and we lose about 1 to 2 a month because it's a rescue, and that's kind of how it works. You get animals in that are really messed up, really bad position, and that's kind of how it goes. And I'm finding that I can't emotionally connect with every animal. You just can't do it. It's not humanly possible to do that because you're going to lose them, and you can't like absorb that at all times.
Why would you want to connect emotional to the animals? You are there to you rescue them and then you give them away to a better house, a home. That's how you do that, right? I mean, what's going on? What, stop being emotionally invested in. This sounds hard. Don't be emotionally invested into the animals that bad. You shouldn't.
It's not like a healthy thing to do. And I've been going through that through like the last couple of them, but the last one really messed me up because it was Ghost, and Ghost is she was one of the first rescue ferrets, and this animal was like physically abused badly originally, and when I went to go pick her up, she was like one of the first ones that I went to go pick up. Normally they'd give you in like a carrier, and the person's like all excited, and they're like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. You know, I feel bad. I feel like a bad person." You talk to them about it, and then they give you the animal, and there's like crying and whatever, right? And then you take the animal, and then they want to reach out and know how they're doing and everything like this, because it's usually a person surrendering because they just can't take care of them. This one, I go to the house, and I'm like, "Hey, you know, I'm here to pick her up," and this person just did this and like handed this ferret to me like this, and it's covered in shit, like just feces all over the body. And I'm like,
Disgusting.
"Do you have like a carrier?" And they're like, "Nah." And emaciated, covered in feces, ear mites, visible ear mites. It was awful, and it's just she's scratching herself. She had like it was bad, dude.
Oh my god.
Take her to the vet, and we fix her up, and then we find that she is deeply afraid of other animals. She can't be near other ferrets at all whatsoever. Anytime you put her near one, she freezes, and then she'd bite them and immediately pee and poop, which is not a normal response for a social animal. It's like very clearly something has gone wrong. She came from like some kind of an abusive household situation. We've never seen a ferret do that ever. And I worked for, I want to say, God, it's got to be, it's like 2 years now. It had to be like 2 years of working with this animal every day, trying to like get her to integrate with the others. And she never would do it. But she was just so sweet. And I just played with her every day because they need kind of social interaction. And
how did she respond to humans?
Great. Totally fine with humans. She was afraid of being picked up at first, which is kind of common because people don't know how to handle them and then they get afraid of hands. It's like a normal thing. But she's fine with humans. She was terrified of animals. It was very strange.
Huh. That's interesting. Might be thinking about of that maybe she was in a place where she had to fight other animals for entertainment of the people. Maybe, I don't know. Something like that could be. I don't know. But that's where my thoughts are going to.
And it's weird, especially with being afraid of other ferrets. It's very odd, right? So it probably a neglect situation where she was just left in a cage with another ferret and learned to be afraid of them because it's all learned behavior. They're super social. So, but a couple of weeks ago, she suddenly started coughing, and it turned out she had Hodgkin-like lymphoma.
Okay.
Which is hyper aggressive cancer. It killed her in about 2 weeks. There was no way out. Couldn't save her. Couldn't do anything. We normally get months for that. We can do chemo, all kinds of stuff, but it just killed her.
Why? Why would you? This is gonna sound cruel, but why would you spend money on cancer treatment of a rescue animal that that's gonna die in a short time anyway? And yes, I know this sounds cruel for a lot of people, but that's how I see it. Why? Just don't. And you have more money for rescuing more animals. I don't understand the logic. I think this is all driven by emotions.
And going into like the how that ties in with stuff is we've got people that are really pissed off at me over like World of Warcraft from about 100 days ago. It was on January 14th.
Okay.
And they're mad because I ran out of a dungeon in hardcore WoW.
But by the way, that's the one thing I actually agree with him. Because he didn't fuck up. The group lead fucked up. And also, if you're playing hardcore WoW and you go in a dungeon, you always have to expect that people are stupid. So you always have to clear more trash mobs. Always. Always. Don't go, oh yeah, we're doing it like a non-hardcore. No. Always expect people to be stupid. You clear more packs. That's how you make sure you survive. Don't be stupid. And always expect other people to be stupid.
Specifically because our group was wiping.
Thor, can you turn up your volume some?
Is that? I think that's as loud as it can go. Let me see if we can do it on this one.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, let me see because it seems like you're pretty
I'm
quiet.
almost redlining on mine.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, he's quiet, right? Yeah, so he's saying he's jacked up as high as he can go. So should I turn my volume down and just tell Stream to turn up the volume?
Do you see that? His nose is hitting the microphone. What the fuck is he doing? No, he's in the red. He might be in his software, whatever, but that's because I don't know what's going on with him. Something's. I think something's wrong with him.
He's jacked up to 200% on Discord.
Well, that's weird. Is it your headphones?
No. You're just not loud enough. It's always the other people, right? Jesus Christ, this is wow. You know, a couple minutes ago, I thought like, yeah, this is not going well. This is I might just not watch this. Let's do something else. But wow, this is getting me agitated. Jesus Christ, this might actually be good content after all.
Okay, I can try to do that. Let me.
They're saying that I sound good on your stream.
You sound fine to me. Let me see. So they're saying I find volume is good. Okay, they're saying it's fine. So I think we fixed it. You're both low as usual. Okay, cool. Thank you, chat.
They aren't low for me. Well, he was, but Dr. K not.
I don't know. I think he sounds buttery smooth, dude. Like butter.
That's super funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so this whole thing started with like World of Warcraft Classic back in January. And as part of this thing called OnlyFangs. And you kind of meme around, you make characters, but it's hardcore. So if your character dies, you lose it forever. But it's a character in a video game, right? So we're doing this.
Do you see that? His microphone arm and mic are moving. And I think it's because his face is touching the mic. I think that's what's going on. Like the other video that I just did about him, I do it here too. I think he's insecure about his voice. Because in the last video we also checked his real voice. I looked it up. I can do it again. Let's do it again. Come on. Real voice. Where is it? Here.
So I feel like I'm being direct, and other people feel like I'm being evasive.
100%.
I think he needs to remove his mic filter that gives him the radio voice.
Software, how's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's so many people. And they love the games, so it's been awesome.
So speaking of games, what do you
See it? Or better said, heard it. That's what's going on. He's insecure about his high-pitched voice, and that's why he's so close to the microphone, and he's not talking in a loud voice, just like now. I'm almost whispering into the microphone right now, compared to now where I'm very obviously speaking louder. And let me know in the comments if you hear a difference, because I can guarantee you hear a difference. And on top of that, he has a filter. I guarantee you he has a filter. Just like I do, but I don't know if this even works because I'm an audio retard. So yeah. And I of course also have filters in my OBS for the microphone. And I have noise suppression in my AMD software. So these are all layers that I use. And I still, at the beginning when I started streaming, my voice sounded the same like now. And I hated it. I'm not completely fine with it. So the problem is not how my voice sounds. I have no problems with that anymore. He does. I think he's very insecure about that. And that's why he's that close to the microphone. Talking not very loudly. And has a filter.
Dungeon, and the call was made to run. But it's kind of before that is we did the dungeon before that in a group, and we failed. And it was like, oh shit, everybody's running, everyone's freaking out. And we all made it out alive on that one. So we decided to go back in. Probably shouldn't have done that. When you have a group that falls apart like that, you probably shouldn't do it again. But we went back in, and on this one, a poll was made that was way too big. We weren't ready for it, and then all of us fucked up. Like every single one of us did, including me. And I talked about it online for it. But there was a pinnacle moment where one of the guys said, "Run, run, run." So we all ran, because you're letting a guy be a shot caller. And then as I ran, he goes, "Why are you running?" to me. And I'm like, I could be a dick right now and be like, you told us to run, right? I could just like reflect that, be like, what are you talking about? Like, you did that. And I was like, what do you want me to do for you? Right. And I said, what do you want me to do for you? Look at my mana. Because it was mostly out of mana, but I had resources that I could have done for it. And I tried to make like kind of a light of the situation. And I was mostly irritated. It was an irritation response, not like a real accurate response. And it turned into this massive meme. And there's people in chat getting banned for it right now even. So for over 100 days now, there's people that spam mana gem and you're out of resources and run away from your friends and all this kind of shit. And the thing that's crazy about that is, tying back into the Ferret stuff, is when Ghost died, my YouTube...
Tying back into the Ferret. What's going on?
YouTube got littered with comments saying Ghost died because she was out of mana.
Oh my god.
That's the shit that I'm getting every day now. Because these aren't people that give a shit about World of Warcraft. They're not people that give a shit about those characters. They're not people that care about any of this stuff. They just want to hate me, and they're doing everything they possibly can to do that in the most vicious...
People are dicks. I think that's what this is coming down to. And you have to have a thick skin to get through that. Yeah, I mean, if you don't, then don't be in the public. I mean, I'm not in the public. We will see how well this is gonna go. But yeah, you have to have a thick skin. Of course you do. If you don't want that, then leave. Focus on developing your game and leave the public. It's that simple. If you don't want it, leave the public.
Fucked up way I've ever seen. And it is thousands of people. It is not a small amount of people. It is thousands. And I get this shit every day. And then there's people that come in and they go, "Oh, it's so funny. I just said mana in his chat and I got banned." It's like, yeah, we've banned 50,000 people on Twitch alone for this shit. 50,000 accounts so far for that. And about 14,000 have gotten unbanned because they put an unban request because they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal." And it's like, dude, this is crazy. It's been going on for over 100 days now. I think it's like, yeah, so it's about
100 days?
over 100 now. And it's not just that. It spiraled out into other things where people made all kinds of wild-ass accusations on me. They tried to say I was a pedophile at one point.
Of course.
Because I had a friend back when I was like 19 and they were like 17. We're still friends today. We're both almost...
That doesn't even make sense. That's literally the same age gap. What the are you... These people are stupid.
40. And they tried to make up allegations about the two of us, and she had to come out, or he had to come out and say, like, no, this is bullshit. That never happened. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So, like, we keep getting, like, these... basically, I got gish galloped for a while, where it's like...
What does that mean?
Shitload of weird... gish gallop is like, I say a whole bunch of lies about you, and you can't respond fast enough, so it looks like they're true. Is basically the way that it felt. So it was like a whole bunch of, like, weird accusations all at the same time, as quickly as possible. And it's weird because when you fight against them... I found something that's really odd to me is I've never seen this before on the internet. Normally, when you ignore stuff, it kind of goes away. You can't ignore things now. If you ignore something like that, people immediately think it's true. And when it's serious allegations like that, you have to respond. So immediately responded to it, shut it down. When I did that, there was a very large number of people who go, no one thought that was real anyway. And then there was a whole other group of people that go, oh, you're fighting it, which means it's true.
I see.
It's like, where is this coming from? It's like the most whiplash, strange behavior that I've seen.
People just want to cause drama because it's entertaining to them.
And that stuff pretty much ever. And it kind of freaked me out, man. But yeah, it's invested internet trolling. Yeah, I think it's the most invested that I've seen with this kind of stuff. It reminds me a lot of like Coney 2012, which is just like they've absorbed into their personality that they need to kill me by whatever means, right? And when I say kill, I mean it. Like, I've gotten swatted over this. I've had weird phone calls to my phone where they're trying to like set me up to try to get me arrested and all kinds of shit. I've had death threats, thousands of death threats over this, which is just insane. It's weird, man. Like, I've never seen this kind of vitriol over something that's just so not a big deal, and for such a long period of time too.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. So first of all, that sounds insane.
It is, yeah.
Like, I've certainly seen that there are people who I don't think people on the internet realize how much power they have to really like mess up someone. So there's this perception that, okay, if you're like successful or famous, that I don't know if this makes sense. It's like almost like the things that you have going well in life are in the same HP pool as the psychological attacks. But that's not how it works, right? So like I can have a really, really, really strong biceps, but that doesn't protect me from like Hodgkin's lymphoma. Like it just, like the dimensions of a human being, and maybe people understand this, right? So like you can have some dimension of your life going well, and if some other dimension of your life like goes really, really bad, there's a certain amount of resilience that carries through with like the human body. But generally speaking, having a great relationship doesn't make up for a toxic boss. It can help you withstand it. And I think the other big thing that people don't really appreciate.
Yeah, for that, I mean, let's just talk about me. I'm growing on YouTube. It's great. I mean, I'm not giant. I have 35 followers. One of them is me on my second account. I'm growing, and this feels great. Like you would say, oh my god, yeah, good for you, yeah, everything's fine. I have a neck injury. I just a couple of weeks tried walking for more than 1 hour straight, and it worked out good. Last week, I took my bike to my dentist appointment. Giant mistake. I still have problems with my neck from that. Yesterday, I rode the bus because I had something to do, which turned out I didn't. And I rode the bus, and well, turns out when I was almost home walking from the bus station, I had problems walking. Why? My neck injury. So YouTube and streaming goes well now. But my neck injury, oh Jesus Christ, that thing is totally fucking me. I mean, it's way better than last year, but that's not hard. Last year was horrible. And the thing is, that's not my first injury. I also have a back injury down there, and for that injury, movement is key for it to go away and get better. Movement for this injury is the exact opposite. So I'm fucked. My back is completely fucked. But YouTube and streaming goes well at the moment, and it's continuing going better. So not everything can go good, you know? Some things are just not. That's just life. And you have to push through it. And I think that's what she's talking about. You know, one thing goes good, other things don't.
Appreciate is that, like, you know, when someone has an emotional thing that happened to them, like it sounds like you lost a ferret that you were very closely attached to and had sort of connected with, and when they kind of like attack you in that way, like that's very like hurtful.
Well, I mean, it's intended to be, and like I think what it came to is like I can identify that and be like, okay, this is an unreasonable attack. Right? There's kind of like reasonable attacks for like, hey, I'm upset at you for like legitimate reasons. This is why I'm upset at you. And we go, okay, cool. We either resolve that or we don't resolve it, and we kind of go from there, right? And then there's unreasonable attacks, which I think that is an unreasonable attack of like going in and be like, your ferret's out of mana. That's why it died. Like that's designed to just it's designed to get in your head. It's designed to fuck you up.
Yes. That guy is a troll. He tries to get in your head and fuck with you because that's his entertainment. And you have to ignore this guy. Because everything you do, is his entertainment.
There's no someone trying to fix a scenario there. They just want to hurt you, right? And so I kind of package those in different ways. But yeah, no, they still hit you. There's no dodging that.
So what I'm kind of curious about, Thor, is like, so first of all, I don't think that what you're going through is, I guess, justified. I mean, it's not my place to judge, but also like, I it sounds like what you did was, I'm still not quite sure. You made a snide comment and then ran away in a hardcore dungeon?
I made a snide comment as we were escaping the dungeon, and 2 people died in that runaway.
Okay.
And that was it. And then all the people in 5. This is the funny part. The person who made the rude comment to me at the first place, it was like, "Why are you running?" He ended up getting caught in some.
Did you hear it? His microphone peaked because he was talking louder while being this close to the microphone. Of course, it peaks. Like I said before, that's all because he's insecure about his voice.
Other drama with it. They don't even know what happened, and I stepped away from it because I was like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm out, right? After all that shit. But what ended up happening right after that was it just exploded, man. Like it just detonated into the sun of just like people being. I feel unreasonably angry because to me it's like, that's a character in a video game. We just go make new characters. And you just, the whole point, the whole motto for that entire thing was we go again. Your character dies. You make
so I think that this is where things get like like if you're open to talking about this, like I think it could be helpful, because I think there's two things that can be true at the same time. One is that the amount of hate that you've received is not acceptable. That I think is true. Like in this moment,
Okay.
I believe that to be true. Like that's not okay. And the way that you are describing the story and the response that you got, there's a big gap there that
There's
I
more
think
in that.
does not. So even if it's unfair, it seems like there's something missing to evoke. So what I'm thinking is like if there's a hardcore raid and people die, sometimes there's a weird situation on the internet where it's like Tinder catches fire and then things get blown out of proportion.
Sure.
So there's absolutely like an unfairness to that, but I'm also imagining and thinking about my experiences on the internet, and the way that you're describing it seems, so there's no question that things are like objectively, in my mind anyway, maybe I'm wrong here, but there's no way in my mind that you deserve what is happening to you, because I don't believe that someone getting death threats is warranted for anything that happens in World of Warcraft.
He's true. He's right. Absolutely correct. Something that's happening in the game is not worth getting a death threat about. Now, if you cheat at a tournament where it's money, now we are talking. But, that's real life consequences. If you basically steal money from others by cheating.
Just don't think that that's like, I cannot envision a scenario in which those 2 points get connected. And at the same time,
I do understand the route that it carried though, and I can't explain that anyway.
Yeah, so that's because I think that like the nerve that you, so what I'm getting is that you struck a nerve. You really pissed a lot of people off. And running away in a hardcore wipe, like a hardcore raid that is wiping, I do not think is the nerve that you struck. Does that make sense?
No, it was the fact that I was smug on the way out, because I made the comment that I made was made with a smug face, right? Because like at that point it was like the group had already wiped once. We were in the process of wiping again, and I'm like, dude, like everybody who's involved in this is screwing up. Why are you calling out just me specifically? I'm gonna make a smug comment and
because you were the one furthest away.
Response, and then it turned into this is just this guy's fault. It's just my fault. Shouldn't have made a smug comment for it. Know that, obviously, but the response for this to be 100 days of this and all these crazy allegations being made against me, that's doesn't make sense.
So you made you made the smug comment on stream?
Oh yeah, no, all this was live.
Okay, so this was live. And then was there some kind of aftermath? So usually when this stuff happens, it's like if things go to Twitter, that's when people I think really dig themselves into a hole.
Yeah.
No, it didn't go to like I posted a post on Twitter saying, "Hey, this is all this stuff." I said in there like, "Hey, this everybody screwed up, including myself. This is everything that was going on," and that was that. And I have the
shouldn't have done that. If he hadn't done that, shit might have been done with in about a week or two.
Post
or a month.
We can go pull it up. Let me go grab it. Whoop.
So what I'm curious about is the people who got mad at you at the beginning. I'm not talking about the death threat folks. The people who got mad at you at the beginning, what were they mad about?
They were mad that I was being smug. That was like the general initial catalyst for it. The problem was what I ended up seeing is a whole bunch of content creators, because this is a content guild. They took a whole bunch of clips of me to make it look as exaggerated as possible and then turn that into content all over the internet. And they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Since there's
kind of what I am doing right now.
So many content creators pushing it at the same time to try and get as many views as possible, it pushed this narrative, and that spiraled it completely out of control. And when I say making content out of it, one of those creators actually had his child on video with the face blurred out say, "Pirate software is a disgusting roach." Like, this is wild shit. And that's not a small creator. That's like thousands of viewers, right? So you see this kind of shit, and you're just like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why are you doing this? I get it. That's why I put out the video of like anything for views. And it's like, dude, I get that you're trying to do this for views, but you're doing it to cannibalize people around you in the same space as you. That's not sustainable long term. Maybe they don't care that it's sustainable or not, but that's fucked up. I don't.
It's content. It's just content. Him caring so much about that is what's keeping it alive.
I don't think there's any other way I can describe that, is to try to cannibalize some other creator so you can get a quick view is nuts to me, man. Especially because throughout that event, I was trying to do things like, hey, let's go make content with this other creator. I was sending our community over to other people. Like one of the people that actually turned around and just immediately tried to turn it into memes and views and everything like that and try and go in on me. We had the whole community go over there and gave him a level 25 hype train. Like just, hey, you guys should support this dude. He's a smaller stream. He's got like 100 viewers. Go and support him. And everybody jumped over there and it was like $20,000 in a hype train, dude. And then immediately switches around and does that shit. And it's like, what? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, so I know this is going to sound weird, Thor, but like I'm getting some missing qualities here. Have you heard that phrase? So,
yeah.
Do you know what missing means? The missing reasons. So I mean, we can take a look at your Twitter post if like. So I mean, I think we've actually got a couple of options here. So like, I enjoy talking to you. I like you. I respect you. I think that sometimes streamers make mistakes, and at the same time, I think that something about what you're describing feels like there's a chunk that's missing. So I totally
think it's because it's all disconnected, timeline wise.
Okay.
I guess it's hard to describe each individual piece. So the event inside of that dungeon happened. Then afterwards, I got brought into a call with the person who called me out. I left the call because he was shouting over me, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to have a fight with you. I don't want to deal with it. And I left. So that kind of made that more. And then content creators started to make a big deal about it. I started to receive death threats in the game from other players. And I said on stream, I'm going to start reporting people for doing this shit. I'm going to go after them. That got clipped, sent out onto the internet. And then when people sent that out on the internet, they tried to say that I was going after other streamers, when in reality I was going after the people who were sending me death threats. And the only streamers that I reported were ones that had done things like said on stream, I'm going to go to Pirate Software's community and harass him because I think it's good content. Saying that.
Okay, yeah, completely valid. I would do the same. Fuck those people. Completely valid. No problems there.
Live on stream, which is like 2 or 3 people. And I don't think that's a wrong thing to report. So they clipped that one, and this all kind of got spread onto live stream fail and all these little pieces out of context. I guess the basic way to think about it is, imagine you're driving your car, and there's a guy sitting in the side seat. And he handcuffs you and takes control of the wheel. And you just get to watch the car drive. And no one will listen to you saying, hey, I'm not driving the car. This isn't accurate. They don't listen to that anymore. They just see your car driving in that direction. So they've taken full control of the narrative at that point. And I can't do a damn thing about it.
Yeah, and that's where you stop interacting with this kind of thing. And it will go away. It's like Asmongold says. If you stop acknowledging it, it will go away. And he's right.
And that's what happened on live stream, Phil. And we get that all the time now too. So like anything that I do on stream, this will probably be clipped out of context and put up on live stream, Phil, as well. I'm not really surprised if something like that is. And they'll bring it up and go and do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Does that make sense? Or there's still more?
I would love to hear what else there is. And I think what bothers me the most about this is making sense for me on 2 major levels. One of which I think is, I'm just debating now for a second, because I think one of the things that I'm starting to hypothesize, I just really have to think about this.
All right.
Could really add fuel to the fire. So I have to think about whether I even want to mention that or not. So let's start with just getting more context.
Sure. So after all that live stream fail stuff went off, eventually it started to kind of fall away. But then anytime anything happened with live stream fail, anything, or anytime anything happened with OnlyFans, the guild, I'd get blamed for it. They would think that they thought it was part of some kind of a narrative that I would show back up, and it was like a bit. The whole thing was a bit, and all the hate was a bit. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm out. I don't like, I got kicked from the guild. I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, being part of a streamer guild is a bad decision. You shouldn't do that because the people are retarded. And yes, I'm talking about the streamers. They always try to outmatch each other by... Just don't. Just don't. I wouldn't. And I also just wouldn't play World of Warcraft anymore. Oh, Jesus, fuck that game.
And then somebody actually DDoSed Blizzard in the middle of one of the OnlyFans raids to kill the raiders. So they DDoSed a multi-billion-dollar company, which is wild. Like, that's crazy to me. So they DDoSed that, and then I had a ton of people dive into chat saying like, "Oh, you did it. Why did you DDoS OnlyFans? Why did you go after OnlyFans?" And then I found out Asmongold made a joke.
Yeah, of course. I does he not understand how people on the internet are? Yes, of course. They would say that because it's funny. They think it's funny. That's all that is. It's just a stupid joke. Stop taking this shit too serious. And yes, oh, Asmongold made a video about it. So what? I really, really, really see why people now. I wanted to say I can really see why people don't like him, but it's more like he's kind of behaving like a bitch. So I don't even know at this point what to say. This is why are you even stop reacting to people like that? Ban them and it's good.
About that, and he was like, "Oh, it's probably pirate software," and it's like, no, that has nothing to do with me. And I said it on stream. I was like, you can't make those jokes. People believe them.
And that's when you ban those people. You either ban those people or you go all in and yeah, of course I did. You know, I do it every time.
They just believe it, and it's not everybody. Most people realize that a joke, but some people just believe that shit, and then they run with it. And that's kind of where that's gone. Yeah, it's one of the most disturbing things that I've seen. And in my chat right now, we're actually banning constant. So this is definitely already up somewhere.
What are you banning people for?
People that come in and say like calling me a roach because the act of running out of a dungeon is called roaching in the game. Still 100 days. It's been 100 days. People that are spamming mana gem, which is the resource item that I could have used in the game at that time, just over and over again. See, they're just getting banned constantly. It's just like a constant stream of bans right now, and I knew that was going to happen.
How do you understand that?
How do I understand what?
Why that's happening so much?
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, how do you understand why people keep showing up? You're saying it's happening constantly, right? You're saying that
it happens if I talk about it. It happens if I don't talk about it. This is every day. It's just more right now because we're talking about it.
Right. So I understand that it happens every day. It sounds like it's like awful. I don't think you deserve this. At the same time, I think that if we want to, we can try to understand it. Is that interesting to you?
Sure. I mean, I think I do understand it. I think it's
what do you understand?
I think it's become a popular thing.
No, but I'm really interested what he thinks why it is.
I think that's really what it is. It's become kind of like a signpost on the internet, like, hey, stop by and do this thing because it's funny. And I get that. Like, I understand that. It's because for a lot of these people, they've never engaged with their community before. They don't know who I am. They're not really interested in who I am. They just want to pop in and say a thing and then get banned. And that's it. Right. And some of them are chat hoppers from other communities, from creators that don't like me from that event and have created negative content about me. So they're doing that, and they come over from that community and they think that that's part of it, or they want to be a part of that in some way. Some people describe it as parasocial within the community, but to be real with you, I think it's just people that want to be part of something. And if that something is just hitting me, like, whatever.
Okay.
I think he's kind of overestimating things. I think that's just idiots that want to make a joke and think they are, I don't know, smart or funny, whatever. I think that's all that there is to it. Just a bunch of stupid people. That's all. He's reading way too much into it.
Can you show me that? Do you feel okay? So like, is this what we're talking about today? Like,
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
you want to know how things are going. This is it.
Okay, so I think this has the potential to be great. And the reason for that is, like, I think that there's a lot that everyone who is watching right now can relate to and understand. The thing that I'm concerned about is that I'm going to challenge you in some ways. And the main thing that I'm concerned about is how the way that I challenge you could be clipped out of context, misconstrued, used as evidence that Thor is the worst human being on the planet. Does that make sense? Like, I'm actually, like, genuinely concerned about that. That, like,
I almost guarantee that it will.
Of course it will. There has been a grown animosity against him. And I think at least partly it's his own fault.
Right, so then I think we have to make a decision about... So I think that there is a way, I'm hopeful, but I don't know. I think there's a way that if we have this conversation, it can actually decompress a lot of the emotional energy that's on the internet. But I think
I'd
a lot
be down
of...
to talk about it. Because, I'd be down to talk about it because, to be real with you, it's not really changing anything at this point. Like, the route of trying to ignore it, the route of trying to talk about it, the route of trying to reason about it. We've done pretty much everything that I can think of at this point over like 100 days. And like I've sent over to Kronos, if you're there, I sent him the tweet so he can get it over to you.
Okay. Let me take a quick look at this. So, because I think this is, like, I'm really sorry you're going through this. And I think that there's a lot that we have to be careful about. And also, I think the reason that we're here is to try to have some challenging conversations. So can I actually, while I'm waiting for that tweet from Kronos, I'm going to go grab an iPad because I think drawing here could be helpful.
Sure.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, do it.
You're gonna draw.
Actually, I need to find out if Kronos is here. Mods, in the emergency channel, is Kronos here?
Do you see that? Again, his nose is touching the microphone. That's not a normal thing to do. If you're using a microphone, you don't have your nose rubbing against the microphone. You don't.
Is Kronos not here? Yeah, I'm just gonna send it to him. We'll just do this. I can send it to him in this channel because I don't know if he's actually here. There we go.
This is ridiculous. Let's see if he can skip that part where they don't say anything. Might have been a mistake. Definitely a mistake.
Okay. So, okay, so to start with, here's my response to the dire mall. From my perspective, I didn't feel I could save anyone else with the resources I had left, even with the mana gem and robe cooldowns. Since the call was to run, was made, I followed the call and got out as quickly as possible. In every other instance where stuff has hit the fan, a shot caller has called a specific target and nobody died, you call run, run, run. Okay, Yamato pinned the entire thing on me.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how I felt at the time, and I still feel that way.
Okay. Our party went wrong. Each person in the group made mistakes, including myself, to pin on a single person. Okay, hope it was worth it for you. Okay. So this was live on stream, right?
Yeah, all of it was live. Absolutely.
And so it was also live who made the call to run?
Yes. Yeah, he made the call to run.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like here's the hate raid that you're talking about. Okay. So, thank you so much for...
And we expected, and that's why I wrote in there, I was like, those trying to defend me, don't worry about it. We expected that to last like maybe 10 days. The internet generally doesn't care about things a super long period of time. 100 days?
Yeah,
still
so...
people in chat like spamming and getting banned and like, that's wild.
This is, you were right, this is wild. So we're going to like try to understand this,
but
okay?
How wild is it?
God, this is going to be tough. Okay, so let me start with this. So let's say that you do something, right? Let's say you take an action in life. In the response, would you agree that the response that you are getting is disproportionate to the actions that you've taken?
I would absolutely agree with that, yeah.
Okay. So let's...
It doesn't mean I was in the right. It doesn't mean I was in the right. But I do think the response is disproportionate.
I'm with you, okay? So I'm going to start by... Huh?
I don't think it's disproportionate on an individual level, to be clear. I think each person individually that responds with that thinks that they're the only one responding with it, or that they don't feel like it's that big of a deal because it's just one person and they don't understand.
Why is he so silent again?
Okay. So I concur with that too. So let's start with a couple of like really basic things. So the first is, I do not believe, this is a judgment that I'm making. You're welcome to disagree, but I think the majority of people who are on the internet, I would hope, can agree that something that happens on a stream involving a hardcore raid does not warrant a death threat. That's my first axiom, okay? The second thing...
Yeah. And that's a problem. A lot of people on the internet think it does, because they are retarded. They are mentally ill. If your life is your game, something's wrong with you.
Is that...
I would hope so.
Even if we...
Oh, and I don't say that to attack people. World of Warcraft was my life for years. And there was a lot wrong with me. A lot. It's not anymore. The shit that was wrong is gone. Now I'm here.
Think you're an asshole. That the amount of psychological punishment you are experiencing is, at this point, sufficient. So I would encourage everyone who is watching this, listening to this, if shit gets clipped out of context, and because I think this could, go wahoonie shaped real quick, please, if y'all are disseminating information about this conversation, please include this part, which is that we're all human beings who do the best, generally speaking, that we can. Do people make mistakes? Absolutely. Are you allowed to get mad at them? Absolutely. Should you do death threats? No. But also, I want everyone who is a hater on the internet to really stop for a second and think about what the hate does to you. Right? Like, you're hurting another human being, but like, for what purpose? Like, I think it's just kind of, it doesn't make the world a better place. I know that in the moment you feel like, oh, I want to put someone in their place. Like, I'm like, he needs to be taught a lesson, he needs to be talked to, he's like, oh my.
The thing is, If you harm other people, you harm a part of your soul. That's why I'm, for example, against torture. Not because just because torture is horrible, but the torturer, the guy that does the bad thing, he kills a part of his soul whenever he does it. That's why torture is so bad. You get what I mean? You're always paying a price for what you do.
Oh God, like you did this, and I understand those feelings. I'm not even saying that those feelings are wrong, but also like I don't know how else to say this. Like it's just a bit much. I don't think it's actually helpful in the long run. You guys are doing all this crap to Thor. It's not clear to me that he understands why you're doing it. Okay, and I think that's the first place where we're going to start. Does that make sense, Thor?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I can understand being mad about it at the beginning. Like, I get it. Your favorite streamer's character died. Like, that's going to make you upset. I was smug about it at the time. I get it. I made a mistake in a dungeon. The dungeon didn't go well. Everyone, like, 2 people died. Like, I understand being angry then. I don't understand thousands, and I mean thousands of people 100 days later still on it. Like, that's really weird to me. That's not something I could get, right?
So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm wondering if there's some way that I'm going to play around with.
Oh yeah, no, they're piling in now.
That's okay. So I'd encourage everyone who's watching this right now to just give Thor a break for just a hot second. And just don't just reflexively knee jerk like, okay, like we're going to talk. Can you see this?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
It is now on stream as well.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too laggy because I think I'm just doing a ton of screen sharing. And
my UI is not the best for this.
Okay, hold on. then here's what I'm gonna do. What I'd like you to do, Thor, because I think this is a bit too much for something going on with my capture. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, Thor, is pull up my stream and mute it, but watch the iPad on my stream. Can you do that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, cool. Because when I screen share with you, I just start lagging too much. Or actually, maybe
I wonder what they use.
Okay.
I hope not.
So let's start with
Discord.
this. Over here is death threats.
Ah, nice. Death threats.
Okay. Over here is your actions. And the other thing that I want to do here is like we're gonna use you as an example, but I think that like literally every human being on the planet could benefit and is guilty of what I think you were quote unquote guilty of. So I think there's a fundamental thing going on here, which like I think once people understand, my hope is that every human being who is watching this, I have a couple of goals. One is to hopefully develop a little bit of compassion towards you. But the main goal that I have here is to try to offer some potential, because I don't know if I'm right here, okay? Some potential insight into the gap between what happened to you and the response that you receive.
If I understand this correctly, he basically is saying that everyone in the world is guilty of something, which is correct. Everyone is. Everyone in the world has done something to hurt other people, willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly. Everyone did. Everyone. From toddler to 110-year-old. Everyone did. There's no exception.
So the first thing is that this is disproportionate, right? So
yeah, I can see that.
What they're responding to is something in here, in between your actions. Like you're evoking a response. So here's your actions. And then there is some kind of equation that maybe has let's call it a multiplier. And then over here we end up with harassment. So does this make more sense? Like if we want to understand why this is happening to you, how this is happening to you, There is
roboting it a
some,
bit.
huh? Hello?
That's awkward.
Can you hear me, Thor?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, you're roboting out really hard. I think that response was like 15 seconds ago.
Okay. So let me see.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh no.
I wonder if let me try.
Yeah, his internet is dying.
Oh boy.
Nah, it's not the internet.
That's terrible. Give me a second.
I think he's uses it's a software that he's using.
Hold on, chat. Can you hear me now, Thor?
Whatever
Testing?
it is.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wonder if let me see,
Yeah.
just make sure that
I can hear you, but I don't think you can hear me in real time.
Okay. I'm gonna just change.
Man, I hate modern technology.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can we count in sync? 1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4.
so there's about a 5-second delay.
Oh boy. Hold on. Hey, what's going on?
A lot, I guess.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, I have stopped. Okay, is this better? Thor? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You got. Okay, so now we have mostly in time. So that
Okay,
seems
okay,
good.
okay.
It's like less than a second delay.
Okay, cool. So I think this is pretty normal, and we're gonna get back to it. Okay. So
It's so stupid.
if we look
Okay.
at, let me go back to this. Let's see if this works. And
I'm gonna grab your stream and then bring it up on here, so then we can see what you're drawing on my stream.
yeah, give me just 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I think I'm back to, yeah, just pull me up on the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at it,
Yeah,
right, so
and
there's your
there we go.
actions, and then there's like various amplifying effects that result in the level of harassment that you receive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I can understand that completely.
So, and then let's like toss in, like, there's another variable here which is like memeing. There's another variable here which is like momentum.
Yeah, sure.
There's another variable here which is like content creators hopping on. Content
Like me?
reactions, right? So each of these things is an amplifying effect. Agreed?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
So let me ask you, in your gut, do you think that this plus these things is sufficient to explain, not say that it's justified, but explain what you are going through?
No.
I don't think so, because I think the internet would have given up about it.
I completely
Wow.
agree. So I think there's
Yeah,
a big
it's
variable.
too long-lived for that.
There's a big variable. You've tapped in.
The big variable is force reaction. It's reaction to all of this. That's the reason why it's happening. That's it.
Into something that people really don't like. Okay? So, and here's what I'm kind of hearing. So I'm going to just like write some things out here, okay? So these are just kind of things that you've said. And I wonder if this will, like, if something will click. Okay, so first thing is that there's death threats. That's bad.
Yeah.
There's banning a lot of people. There is ghost dying. There is
Yeah, no,
people
that wasn't even the first time that happened. By the way.
trolling
Ghost
you
was just
about
the most
this.
recent. Yeah.
There's people calling you a pedophile. There's someone's kid calling you whatever.
Yeah, the roach thing.
Okay. Right. And then the other thing is there's your like making sense of it. So there's like kind of this Gish Gallop. There's you said something about these people like ... like, you know, these people are like why are they doing this? Like you were talking about like what these people.
The best way I could put it is, it seems like some people think that they want to be a part of that because it's something that's like greater than themselves. Like they're part of a story, they're part of a narrative. A lot of people that were engaging with OnlyFans stuff were seeing it as like being part of that, and they kept.
Okay.
There were some of them who kept coming back and saying like, "When are you going to jump back in and go and kill the people that called you out in that dungeon?" And like they thought it was like a story, and they didn't realize like this is not like a reality show. Like, what
Yeah,
are you
this is
talking
bullshit.
about?
Yeah.
Right. So I think there was a lot of that, which I also didn't expect that. That was really, yeah, they thought it was like WWE. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay. So like you think that they think it's WWE, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They think
Yeah,
they
basically.
think it's like,
Basically,
a
that's
show,
it.
right? They don't think it's real.
And then so then you use this car analogy of like I'm someone else has taken control of the car.
Yeah.
And then I'm not driving. I'm being punished. Someone else is responsible.
Huh.
Does this make sense?
I wouldn't say someone else is fully responsible, but I think we're that level. Yeah.
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 So when I write,
you can't control it. And when I say like someone else has grabbed the wheel, it's more like
you can partly control it. Stop interacting with it. Stop giving it fuel.
That's not what happened. Here's what happened. But like, I guess the basic way to put it is like, if you're having a conversation with someone, they make an accusation at you. They say, "You're a terrible person because of this thing." And you go, "Well, I didn't do that thing." And they go, "That's just what a person who did this thing would say." Like, where do you resolve that at that point? Right?
That's a great question. So do you know people, or have you heard of people who get accused of things and say, "I didn't do that thing," but there are other people who continue to insist that they did that thing?
Yeah, it's called Every Day That Ends in Y on the internet.
Okay. What about things that are not on the internet?
I don't know. Like that seems like a pretty normal thing among humans. I see.
Yeah. So has there ever been someone in your life that you felt was like had done something, and you were really confident that they had done something, and they were like, "That's not really how it happened"?
I was confident. Like I felt that before in my life. Yeah. And then I either want like proof or not proof. If I don't have enough proof, then like what am I gonna be mad about at that point? I guess is the basic way that I usually feel about that. Like if I have an accusation against somebody, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, this is how I feel about this." And then they go, "Hey, well, here's evidence to the contrary." And then we talk it out. Is generally how that is. I think when I was younger, I was a lot worse at that, obviously. That's something I think that you learn over time, is like how to conflict resolve in a way that is sane, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So is sane.
When I say is sane, I mean more like conflict resolve based on things that are provable or not provable, not just gut feelings.
I'm with you. And how does that work out?
Well, when I'm talking to people who are older, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I find that there's very few people that are younger that can have conversations like that. There's still ones that will. But I find like usually people past their mid-20s is when they start to be able to do conflict resolution better.
Yeah, young people are idiots. And that's intentional by the government. It is very clearly, because look at the schools and the preschools, kindergartens. It's all made to make the kids stupid.
Okay.
And want more of a trust but verify kind of approach, which is like, I trust that you're telling the truth from your perspective, but I need to verify your claim before I get mad. Right?
Okay. So I want you to just like, we're going to tunnel down into that for a second. Okay. So let me just understand this. So like people who, your method of conflict resolution sounds super reasonable, right? It's like, if you've got proof, then you push forward. If you don't have proof, you kind of let things go. And then when I ask you, how does that work? And you're like, well, if people are mature, it works great. But if it doesn't work for them, they're immature.
I wouldn't say they're immature.
I
like
know
an
you wouldn't say
accusation
that.
as a result.
I'm using that word. You use the word young, but I think the implication of that is that there's like a value judgment on people who that works for, and a value judgment on people who that doesn't work for.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I absolutely do a value judgment. Like when somebody comes in and goes, "You're this, this, and this," and I go, "No, I'm not," and they're like, and then they just spew a bunch of vitriol. I just ban them, right? Like that's that value judgment.
Yes, I would do the same. Jesus. I would do the same. If someone attacks me in chat, I just ban them. Why wouldn't I? I don't need that.
At that point is like, okay, this is a person that is not able to have a normal conversation. They don't want to have a normal conversation. They just want to spew some like garbage. They don't care what's true. They just want to fight about it. And then I don't want them here, right? And that's where I do that kind of evaluation of like, are you cool enough to like, are cool-headed enough to have a conversation, or do you just want to shout what you saw on Reddit? You know, it's really what that is.
So what is so this is the trolling that you receive is fine, but for the people who got upset with you, what is your understanding of the most rational reasons why people got upset with you?
Oh, now this is gonna be interesting.
Let's forget about the trolls for a second. Huh?
You know, 100%. It's because I was smug, right?
What does that mean?
It means that in this situation, in that moment, it appeared that I didn't feel remorse. And people thought that I didn't apologize. They thought that I didn't care. They thought that I wanted those characters to die or some weird shit with that. But no one stopped to actually ask me. They just saw the clips out of context that made it look like I was a big villain, right? And like I get that. But if you want to talk about that stuff, if you want to believe that, you should probably just come ask me.
So hold on a second.
Talk about it.
How do you know that they formed their opinions based on the clips?
Because they repeat verbatim the same message over and over again that we can only find on places like Livestream Fail, the Reddit. It is copy-pasted information, the same exact messages, the same exact thing. They had like the same phrases over and over again for this kind of stuff. And the only way that you get that is if people are getting it all from the same source.
The thing is, snippets can be in more than one place. Like if you hear it from me, which, you know, I make longer format videos here. Reacts. Let's be honest, it's not my video, it's reacts, and I'm just showing you what's going on. At least I hope I only show that. If you come from me, I hope you know, if you would come from me and, you know, into the chat, do the thing, and it's the same as the others, that he would think it comes from the clips, which it doesn't. So I think he's wrong.
Okay.
You've done more than during the retreat? Yeah, and I said so in social posts, but nobody cared about those. I think that was one of the weirdest things about it is like, I said, yeah, I could have done more in this. I said everybody made mistakes in there, including myself, but no one cared. They just wanted to continue the drama.
So right? Thor, when I point this stuff out, do you notice anything with all the stuff that I've written out? Like, does anything kind of pop to you or not so much?
Is it that it's always other people's fault?
Trying to deflect from like personal ownership over something, but I don't think I'm doing that, so I'm not sure.
Why do you say that?
Because you put "I'm not" over in the right side.
Okay.
Yeah. But that'd be the only reason for that.
Yeah. So I think I think your assessment is somewhat correct. I think there's like a couple of things that are like blind spots, is what I would call them. So the first is that I've noticed that this is what's so tricky about this. I think that objectively you're correct. I don't think that anyone deserves the degree of harassment that you've received. I hope people stop. I really wish they stop. And I mean that genuinely. And at the same time, I notice just the way that I hear you speak, I notice certain blind spots or narratives that are constructed. So the first thing that
I'm nervous about talking about it, to be clear. Like, it's a defense mechanism entirely because of the fact that this has been going on for so long. It involves all of my staff. It involves my family. It involves my general well-being. It involves my physical security at events. It involves all that stuff. And it makes me nervous to talk about it. So it's hard to articulate in a time like that without, I don't know. It's just hard to articulate, if that makes sense.
Okay. So that begs two questions. One important one, which is, are you sure that we should be talking about it?
Good question.
Well, I mean, it's already too late.
No, it's not.
I'd rather talk about it.
No, it's not too late. We can stop. We can stop right this second.
I would rather talk about that, and the reason why is because I find, and this is a very serious part, right? I find that if you don't talk about this, it's not going to help other people, right? Like, I get it. I'm going through it right now, but this is something I think needs to be talked about because the amount of hate and abuse that's going on from this isn't just going to happen to me.
I'm kind of unsure what to say because well, that's it. Him talking about this will not change anything for other people. And I think him saying that, it's for other people, he only says that to make himself look good. That's what I feel is going on.
Okay.
I know that's
I agree. I think that you are pretty unlucky here, but I think you are the unlucky person who has tapped into something very fundamental in human psychology that has triggered the shit out of people.
Likely, yeah.
Okay. So I want you to notice what just happened. Okay. So it's now that you're insisting that we talk about it. Fair enough. I said, hey, I'm noticing something about your narrative. And what was your answer?
That I was deflecting.
What do you mean?
It's unless we're talking about something else.
No. What we just talked about. I said, hey, I'm noticing something about your narrative. And then you said what?
Yeah. That I was deflecting or trying to push off blame onto somebody else.
Okay. Yes. And then what did you say after that?
I don't remember.
Okay. So then what you said is, the reason I'm doing it is because I'm anxious.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, 100% anxious.
Right? I'm worried.
There we go. Okay.
Right? So the interesting thing is that you're doing something really interesting, which is that you provide a very logical reason, which is very compassion inducing for why you are doing the thing that you're doing. Right? So who in their right mind, when you say, yeah, the narrative that I'm creating is because I'm afraid for my physical well-being.
Yes.
How is that challengeable?
It's not.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think what you are doing is something that is, I don't know what word to use, has a negative valence to it. You're doing something that's bad, and the way that you respond to it makes it unchallengeable. You're doing this thing over and over and over again.
Okay.
Right? So the way that you're...
That would be negative about that, though.
What?
That's what I'm trying to understand. I said, what about that is negative?
That's a very excellent question. So now we get to something really interesting about human psychology. So if I'm pissed at you and you take away my reason to be pissed at you, what do I do?
You get pissed, more pissed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how
So you're saying that basically it's created a bunch of anger, and then by having a situation and talking about it and showing like, hey, this is what's going on, it's created a scenario where people are more angry because they don't have a vent. They don't have a way of getting it out.
That is where we're. Hold on, let me just fix this real quick.
Fundamentally, yes.
Oh.
Before, they had the reason to be pissed at you. Now you have taken the reason away. Now they are more pissed. Now they are pissed at you for taking the reason away.
Because I wonder if you're going quiet again. So I just jacked you up. So I think that is the first step to it, right? So there's something that there's something that people, deflecting is maybe a good word. There's something that you're deflecting that then triggers people to like, because they're not getting what they want from you. Does that make sense?
No,
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
an alarm going off.
So now the question kind of becomes like, I don't know if this sort of makes sense, but I think when I hear your story, what I hear is, and this is what's so tricky about it, is like, I think everything you've said is logical because you kind of base things on sort of proof, right? But I'm noticing that like the way that you accept responsibility is like 1% of what your narrative is. So you say that you were smug.
Yeah.
Right?
I was super smug about it.
And
yeah.
I think that feels like a tiny, tiny, tiny part of your narrative.
I think it's only a tiny part of the narrative because it's the flashpoint. It's the moment that started, right?
Sure.
So it's hard to make that larger in the story. But yeah, I was
no.
smug.
I mean,
was smug about it,
I think it sounds to me like, and like now I'm going to say something that's like, this isn't. I don't know what better word to say. I think it's not the flashpoint. I think it's the fuel.
Okay.
So I
you think that was a catalyst for something else? I
think you've. This sounds judgmental, but I think the way that you responded in that moment. So you said early on, you made some kind of like joke, right? Where you, like someone said run, and then you said, I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a joke instead of saying, bro, I ran because you told me to run. You remember when you said that?
Yeah.
So I think that there's like little things that you're doing that, so if I made the call to run and then you ran and then I was like, bro, why are you running? And then you say you made the call to run. How is that? Why would you not say that? Right? Like the reason I'm doing this is because I was listening to you.
Yeah, no, legitimately, that's the one thing, and I've talked about this before, is like if I would have just turned around and be like, you told us to. If I would have just said that, I feel like this whole thing would not have been like this.
Yes. That's exactly it. If you had just said that, you told us to run, so I ran. That's it. We are done. Everything is fine.
I agree. So I think that the interesting thing here is that I suspect that there are a dozen other things like that. So just the way that your narrative sounds to me, and let me know if like this is rubbing you the wrong way, or like you think I'm an asshole, or if this is like please let me know. But I think that something about this story has something that I would call the missing reasons.
Okay.
I'm not saying,
for me, it's whatever it is, it's a blind spot.
Yeah.
Right? Because like for me, I'm just like, this was me being smug and it exploded out of control. And for me on this side, it just feels like a lot of content creators leaped onto it because it got popular to talk about. It became kind of like an issue and it generated a lot of views.
Yeah. So
it just kind of went nuts.
And so I want you to just pay attention to that for a second because you're doing it again. Why did this blow up?
Because I was smug?
No.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Why did it amplify? Who's to blame for the amplification?
The amplification I could generally say is Reddit and other content creators. Like I feel very steadfast in that opinion on that. I don't think this would have reached the audience that it did or become as large as it was on the internet without that.
So
you're talking over 100,000 viewers worth of people.
Yeah. So that I think is 100% true and is indicative of what the problem is, right? Because
and I think this is the point where we take a break because we are already over an hour in. So this video is likely an hour and a half already. And we will watch another Ferret or the rest of this video next time. Because I don't want to spend the entire day on this. I don't.